Well, it seems that we all want to live in a better world. We all want to live in an equal world. We all want to have a world that we want to make it better for our kids and for ourselves. But a lot of us tend to do that only if we become part of any of these movements, be it Black Lives Matters, Me Too, and many more. Okay, but what happens if you're not part of that such a movement? And great movements, by the way. But what happens when you're not part of these movements? What is your desire as a human being, the power of one, to make a difference in the world? That's what this podcast is today. My guest today is a young man in his late 20s, born just above the poverty line in this vibrant city of Mumbai, who opened up Mumbai's first cafe that employs transgender community folk. A community that is looked upon as people who are called to your house to bless the auspicious moments, events in your life, but at the other times are literally not respected and given the attention that they need to be an equal part of our lives. So hear me talk to my guest about how he went on. And what amazed me was his skills to be an entrepreneur, backed by this amazing, sincere desire to do well for the world, is what has really humbled and inspired me. Hello and welcome. This is Tagore, and welcome to my podcast, The Pint of Imbecile Wisdom. And today with me, I'm really excited about the guest that I have. He's a young man in his late 20s. He grew up as a single child because his father was based in the Middle East, earning a living for the family. So he was raised by his mother, raised sort of just over the poverty line, what one would say, in one of the downtrodden places of Mumbai. He had a deep passion for the hospitality industry, always wanted to be a part of the hospitality industry, pursued an education into it as well. But unfortunately, while he was doing that, and just I think after that, his father passed away. But the thing is, him along with two of his friends used to make hot dogs and burgers and sell them on a cart on the streets of Mumbai, and that was the passion. But as I said, he had to give all of that up to actually get a full-time job. But the passion to do a business of his own kept coming up. And one thing that his father instilled in this young man was that every time the father came down to India for his vacation, he would inoculate in him the desire to help people, especially the downtrodden, and share with people whatever little they had. So those two things put together, and my guest actually opened up what I think is India's first cafe employing all the transgender community of Mumbai. And so here he is today, Diego, my man, having opened up Bambai Nazatya. So Diego, welcome to my podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So before we go into Bambai Nazatya, your cafe, let's talk a little bit about you. So tell us a little bit about your background.
So you actually, went through all the thing. I don't know what to say. It sums it up actually for me. But yes, very passionate about the industry. I was, since child. I've seen, I grew up, playing with those toys of Khana Khazana, seeing Chef Sanjeev Kapoor, and, opening up my own shop with all those things. So very passionate with all that. Yeah? And always wanted to get into the hospitality. So that was fixed in my head since very young age, since really small. And I did my hospitality background from Wesley College, and this kind of drove me. And yeah, more I wanted to get into this. More I started doing research and met some beautiful, people who guided me as well in life, and that's where I am right now.
Okay, so you and a couple of your friends, I think one of them is a girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Used to sell hot dogs and burgers Uh,
Yes.
is this while you were in college or after college?
No, after college, after college. So this is after college when I started, where she was still studying, and my friend. So I had graduated. So I so desperately wanted to do something. So I'd taken up a small job, and still that thing was driving me. Let's do it. Let's do it. And one day we were just like meeting, like just chilling together, and we came up with this thing. Like she, in fact, Glennis, her name is Glennis Desa, so she pushed me. Let's do this, and we went for it, and right now we are here.
Okay, so just want to touch upon this. So you were raised by your mother uh, as a single child because your father was obviously abroad,
Yes,
and he was the one responsible for inoculating this concept of helping others, sharing things with others who were less fortunate. And even though, as I said in my introduction, you were born literally just around the poverty line, uh, you know, that desire to help people came from your father, right? And he
yes,
unfortunately passed away a few years ago. And that led you to having to give up all your dreams and your passions and take up a full time job, correct? Just to be able
yes.
to run the family, so to speak.
Yes. So my dad's nature was very, very helping. So it's my mom. So I grew up only in that atmosphere. Though we didn't have much, but we gave it all up. No, he was whenever he was down. So his thing was going for my birthdays or anyone's birthday in the family. We celebrated by going for the home for the aged. So it was just a ritual for us. It didn't come out of any sympathy, or it was just there. We were just going on, and that's nature was that, and that always stayed with me. It was always there with me. I grew up seeing all this in the house. So let it be anyone. So he would go all. In fact, he would even sit on the road with a vegetable vendor and have chai with them. Have talk. So he had friends all over. So I grew up with a very open mindset because of him.
Okay. So then you were working, you said after he unfortunately passed away, you were working, but that passion to open up your own business was always there. So what was the turning point then, Diego? How did that happen?
Dad was also very enthusiastic, to do something of his own. But he had family to feed, right? My education. He couldn't do it. So he always told me, I couldn't do it, you need to do it. And I thought that dream, that passion in the house to get, to do well in life, to own something of your own, that was always there. Wanted to do it. Like that, I was always trying my best in some or the other way I could help my family in terms of anything just to get out of that. I still do live in a chawl in Mumbai, right?
So to our foreign listeners, a chawl is basically a sort of what do you call it? It's a low income residential area, right?
Yes, you could say that. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I wanted to get out of that. Want to still be do a boy with a dream, right? Want to do something with the family, also help my family, plus the society as well. What we can do, help everyone along. And after college, as you said, we started with a hot dog cart. Moving forward, I had to take up a job because that expired, and there was no one to, so there was this lot of tension to do it. That's why Glennis, I did a couple of odd jobs here and there in sales, business, and all, but this was always driving me. This was always there. I want to do that. Voice was always in my head. Let's do this. Let's open up. Let's open up. No matter what. Let's see how. In Hindi, what do you say? जो होगा देखा जाएगा. So
Whatever is to happen will happen.
yes,
Yes.
what? So let's
Yeah.
take the jump. And Glennis came as a support, like a bridge, like the chain. So she's like, let's do it. Tomorrow we have to take a job if it doesn't work out. And I spoke with my mom, and she was all okay. She seen me doing actually on the road, basically really on the street selling hot dogs, burgers. So she was no for it, right? Why would a boy who has graduated in a college would want to work on the streets, sell stuff on the streets? So she's like, why don't you take up a job? So she told me in Konkani, which I think you'll help me to translate this. So I told you, I take back that. So she was like, इतले शिकला यानी रोडार काम करता है रोडार बताले.
You
So I was
you
like, what?
you've educated yourself so much, and you're working on the streets.
On the streets.
Yeah.
And I was like, but that's what I enjoy, right? And that is what I could do. Why not? So the question was, why not?
So
Why
here's
can't
the
I do
thing.
it?
Here's the thing, Diego. Just having seen a lot of young people around me and whatever, somebody in your position, all right, who lives in not a great housing environment, who's living just above the poverty line, whose father has passed away, and who knows who can go and get a job either in a great hotel or on a cruise liners like most people do. You could have done that. You could have earned money for yourself and for your mother and for your girlfriend who would one day hopefully be your wife. But you decided not to do that. You decided to go ahead and start your own business. And great hats off to you. You decided to open up a cafe in Mumbai, okay, which will cost a lot of money because of real estate, okay? And Mumbai is filled with cafes and restaurants, and it is knowing Mumbai's appetite for food. So, what made you open up a cafe in the first place? And that too, I'll come to what you're doing with the cafe in a minute. But how did you get the funds and how did you get the courage to even take a plunge like that among so many other restaurants in that very dynamic city?
So here's the thing, obviously I didn't have any funds. I just took the risk. जो होगा देखा जाएगा. Literally, let's see what happens. Yeah, whatever works, let's take the jump. My mom saying, I was sitting one day, we were discussing how can we gather funds or whatsoever. So my mom overheard this. So whatever money she had saved, right? Though I had some bits here and there saved, I didn't have much money, honestly. So we just shot the gun. We seen a small place which was in Versova in Mumbai, and it was a tiny space. Like it was affordable, kind of. Not really. It was still high rent. And like let's take. I think we can cover this up. We just calculated a basic thing. Okay, we can survive for a 2 months thing or 3 months. We took the step. We didn't see here and there. We're like, let's do it. Okay. My mom overheard this for funds, and I asked her if you can help me out. And something in her said, like, because of that, also wanted to. Okay, she also, we spoke over dinner, and she's like, let's take this jump. Okay, let's try. Let's eat. And she was also at the moment, right? She see me so passionate doing these things over the years. She told me, okay, let's try it. Tomorrow there is a lot of jobs. Don't take tension. Okay, do it. Let's see later on. And with help of her, she had some little retirement money kind of thing saved. She told me, this is for you, and this is the last bit we have. Okay, let's put it in use. If we grow, we grow. Otherwise, tomorrow everyone has to work. So that was the encouragement and the power what I got to drive this. And next day, we started hunting for spaces. We got the big space, and not a very big space, a nestled house in Versova in the bylanes, and we started there. And
Okay.
yeah,
So you went out. Great kudos to you and your mother and your girlfriend who's supporting you morally. And you say, whatever we have, all our little money we have, let's put it into this. Our business will run in for the next 2 or 3 months. And you said open a cafe because that's your passion, the hospitality. I get that. But you went and did something different. Instead of going and opening up a trendy coffee shop like in Mumbai, like everybody else does, and that part of Mumbai, Andheri, I know it very well. It's full of actors and TV personalities and everything. It's a great place to be seen in. So you went and not only opened up a cafe, but you opened up a cafe and you decided to employ all the transgender community of Mumbai. Yeah,
yes.
A community that is often looked down upon in Mumbai. Unfortunately, they are looked upon. And I say that very respectfully. They're looked upon in a very sort of a downtrodden way. They're called for people's celebrations, People believe they bring good luck and that kind of stuff, but nobody goes to employ them and give them an equal opportunity. So,
True.
what led you, Diego, to go and want to employ this and open up India's first fully sort of managed transgender cafe?
So let me just correct you here. We are not India's first. We are Mumbai's first. There's
Mumbai's
one.
first, sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
we came across uh, a guy, a person in. I guess somewhere he's doing it. Hats off to him. We got to know this later, but really good cafe as well. But then again, it's in Chhattisgarh, I suppose. So talking about Bambai Nazarya cafe, which is led by transgender community people. Uh, the thought of this was planted 7 years back. So when we really wanted to do something, right? It came through my dad's. What do you say? Through my dad's noble cause with them. He was friends with the community members as well. Often when he was down at Christmas, right? So again, chawls, they used to come for for sweets, or they used to see stars hanging out. They used to come, right? Today's Christmas, so for donations, sort of. So my dad was very friendly with them, and my dad never looked upon. And back in the 90s and all, it was really difficult for the communities. And he told me that if possible, tomorrow help them out, because no one gives them a chance. It's not only them, even with the handicap person, whoever. So his thought was that, and that always stayed with me. So when I really wanted to do something as of my own, like a cafe or a restaurant, that idea to merge them from the transgender community and give them the opportunity as a whole society was stayed, and that Bambainazariya was born 7 years back. So I texted Glennis. I don't know where the name came. It just came to me. I texted her over Messenger, like, I want to open Bambainazariya, even with the name back then. 7 years down the line, I want to do this. 6 to 7 years down. And yeah, we went ahead with the plan then, and we just gave it. And being transgender, right, it was difficult to approach. First of all, it's why would someone want to eat from a transgender person? So in Mumbai, what we have a community known as the Hijra community. So transgenders are known as Hijra community as well in Mumbai, and we were not only different in terms of employing them, but the social cost behind them, the idea to give them the real platform they deserve. They don't deserve sympathy from anyone. They deserve real job, a real opportunity, and that is what Bambai Nazarya aims to do for rest of our going forward, rest of our lives.
So, Diego, that's amazing how you just took an opportunity like this and brought your heart and your father's heart, your father's values into this whole thing. And you decided to not only open up a restaurant at a great risk, but you brought in a community that is not really given an equal opportunity to say the least. But Diego, what were the challenges that you faced with opening Mumbai Nazar? And what does Mumbai Nazariya mean, by the way, to our audience?
So Bambai is an old slang which for Mumbai. So initially during the British era and the early 90s and 80s, it was called Bombay. So Bombay became a local slang as Bambai. So if you heard the famous song Bambai Meri Hai.
Yeah.
So Bombay. So we wanted to give the old essence of Bombay. So Bombay and Nazariya. So Nazariya is change. So in terms of how you look at people, Nazariya, how you see, right? So we wanted to change perspective of people. So that's our tagline of a cafe. Nazariya badlo, Nazara badlega. So
change your
perspective.
vision, perspective. Okay.
Change your perspective towards things and towards good things, right? You will change your thing, the way you see anything else.
Yeah.
So that's how it translates. And
Wow.
so we wanted to do that. So that's how a story with the name came out. So we wanted to merge, and it just came instantly. Bambai Nazarya.
Okay.
And the challenges we faced first, We wanted, we wanted people from the community. So it's let me put up it this way: the community is so down looked upon. It's been years, decades of discrimination in the society towards them. So it was difficult to break that chain. We wanted someone who would really, want to make that change. So to find that right people was important. It was not just that the society is only looking at them in a words of, we'll see them only begging, getting into sex work. But what about the real people from the community who really wants to do a job? They are not even asked. Even in our day-to-day life, if someone is, we have a member in a family or friends, we'll often call them names. So we wanted to change that. So the difficulty, not only with the society, but even with the people, was a challenge to hire, right? Because for a regular person, you could employ, right? It's very easy to find. But people from the community, how would you get them? How would you show them? How would you? How? Why would they trust us? And we want to. Isn't it another pink washing kind of thing? So I had to get through that. So that was a challenge of getting them. And Humsuffer Trust and Tweet Foundation, who I contacted, so they were a great help. Going again, funds, as I told you, was another challenge for me.
Okay.
Telling my mom, this is going to work, because again, it was a life saving for her. Funds were a challenge, and the rest all was more or less people like you, Mr. Tagore, you know, who came along, who supported the cause. So they were more like an encouragement. So I shut all the noise from out and went forward with it. So most of the challenges, employment and the funds.
Was there, you know, um, before I come to my next question, was there any other challenges from like the so-called civilized community of Mumbai or the sort of, over conservative folks of Mumbai?
Yes, that's the question. That's the question. Yes, I still face it. Honestly, I still do face it. There's a reason I'm relocating also from there, because of the so-called society. Uh, the society challenge. Let's not go very far. One of my friends only in the circle, right? They were like, when we were telling people, we are going to employ them to. So their reaction was, okay, ठीक है, right? Otherwise, when you tell people you're going to open up a cafe, you'll get all these replies, oh wow, congratulations. So when they got to know about transgender, I had a different approach. Yes, there were people who were positive about it, but there was few civilized society, what do you call, who were like, इनके हाथ का कौन खाएगा?
Who's going to eat it from the hands
Eat
of
from yeah, transgender, right? Okay, Israel के हाथ का कौन खाएगा? I was taken back. I just paused and I just asked them one question. आप खाओगे क्या? So, like, will you eat? So there was a pause. Like, yes, why not? Like, that's it. But there was still, the change in mindset. Like, why would I want to go here? There were customers also. There were few were still hesitant. Should I go there or not? And when after coming to a cafe, they were changed kind of.
And this is really sad that in the year 2022, in such a vibrant city like Mumbai, these blocked mindset still exist. That's such a shame. Okay, so tell me, how has the response been to Mumbai and Nazarya in a wonderful city like Mumbai? Tell me the truth.
Honestly, it's been very overwhelming. We didn't expect we would go so far. Again, coming from nowhere and having such a big name at the moment, it is just like, it's kind of dream come true. It's like no regret. We did it, and we are going to do much more than this. Responses are overwhelming. I'll share you one instant. So there was this couple of students who came with their parents for a project, and they wanted to. So her mom, so they wanted to do a study, about the cafe for their college project, and one of the parent was like, she came to me at the end, and she's like, I used to be scared of them before. I used to not go to them. But after coming to the cafe, that mind has changed and seeing this initiative being taken place. And my perspective was different. I only seen them. So the response when this comes, right, when we are seeing these things changing, that is very overwhelming.
I'm sure. And I'm being respectful here when I say the next thing. I don't know the other parts of India as well as I know, obviously, Goa, where we both come from, our roots, and Mumbai, where we both
Yes.
are very passionate about. But Mumbai is probably, people talk about New York being the most craziest, funkiest city in the world. And I keep on saying, you haven't seen Mumbai. Even though I grew up in London, I think London's very cool. But I think Mumbai is probably one of the most open minded, and most vibrant cities in the world. And it's so amazing to know that Mumbai, and I always say my Mumbai has opened its heart to a restaurant like yours. So, what's the dream, Diego, going forward now for Bombay Nazarya?
The dream has already come true. Now we want to stand our grounds. We want Bambai Nazarya to be for a long time, inspire more people, inspire more younger generations, the youth. Even if you don't have money or whatever, your passion can lead to this. I'm a living example. You can still come and see where I live, how I do, how still we are, still building this up without anything. It's just that the sheer determination is required. And Bombay Nazariya, I wanted to be more like a stand strong, like an old Irani cafe, which still breathes in the hearts of Mumbai. So I want Bombay Nazariya to be there.
Has anybody prominent come forward and lent their support, either financially or otherwise?
Not yet, but yes, one close friend who I got helping us out right now, who's joined us as a partner. And he's seen the vision, he sees the same vision. And yes, there are a lot of people still kind of approaching, but not in the way we would want to. It's a different, for us, it's like it's a baby. We want it, we see this even stronger. We see the social cause behind it more than making money out of it. But yes, it goes hand in hand to survive. So we are spectacle about it, also with joining hands with others. But yes, going forward, yeah.
So, how has the trans community in Mumbai taken to this cause? Let's hear from their side of the story. How have they've obviously heard about it? They've heard about this cafe that is encouraging, employing, giving them the opportunity that they've always wanted. How have they reacted to it?
Oh, they have been very supportive. In fact, they want to be a part of it so much. But I cannot employ a lot of people right now at the moment with my capacity. But they do travel. They come. They'll have a cup of chai at the place and they'll go. They'll make sure they are blessing me with positivity. They're like, I'll come and work for you, and all sort of they get their friends and it's become more like a gas space. So as support, hats off to them. They are also trying to break the barrier, and they can see the change happening.
So, how many people do you currently employ, Diego?
Currently four.
4 people.
Yes, it's a tiny cafe, so currently four. We are tiny but big.
Okay. You've had a lot of media coverage uh, on the cafe
Yes.
around. Yeah, has that been predominantly around Mumbai or just around India itself?
Actually, all over India, I was very surprised to see it's come from even in south of India. I was not very sure, but one of my friend told me it's in one of the Tamil news as well. So I was very overwhelmed with that as well. It's because the word is spreading. The word is spreading really good.
So, Diego, what does it mean to you? Is it just a commercial venture or is it keeping your father's legacy alive?
Honestly, Mumbai Nazariya means everything. So it was my dad's thought behind it, but my passion and everything. It's my blood and hard work, blood and sweat. So it's not only mine, but when I see uh, staff members like Mahi, right? Mahi is one of my staff. When I see her, getting that opportunity, getting her the media coverage more than me, getting Sunita, who's one of our chefs in house, and that means to me so much, you know. And it's not only about making that money, but changing life that touches me more. When you see the smiles on their faces, when you see them greeting, when they say when the work, even on their vacation, like, okay, sir, kya karna hai, kal kya karna hai, what dishes to create. That is the family I want, and that makes me happy in and out every day of my life.
Wow, Diego. And you're giving them the respect they've always deserved, like any other human being in the world. Yeah. So it's that opportunity to have a job, to have that respect in society and so forth. But my other question to you is that, Diego, this whole thing is very overwhelming. It's very sweet, very noble, and it's genuine as I can see. Uh, but you've had to vacate your first premises that you've had for the first, I think, 2 months, if not
Uh,
mistaken.
for 6 months.
First 6 months, okay. And then you've had to move to another location. Why
Yes.
was that the case? And we talked, you mentioned very roughly because of the so-called, conservative folks. So what really happened around that?
What happened was unfortunate, but one of my staff was pretty much kind of molested there. They were with one of just passerbys, and they were. It was in a by lanes, right? The cafe. So there was. It was not in the main road junction where you could see people moving. It was in a secluded place, so we were facing that issue, and there were passerbys just commenting. There were, and you can't stop anyone to enter a cafe, so that's like a drawback, right? You can't tell nobody to come. So that we want everyone to come and experience. So there were unfiltered crowd. Like there were certain types of people who just came in and tried to call names, try to create issues inside. I would say I would not be very specific on that matter, but I hope you get the.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's one reason we decided to pack over there and come out on the main open. At least we'll have a voice, we'll have a face, and it will help our business as well.
Well, good for you, because you know what? Unfortunately, the world is full of such animals who don't know how to respect and appreciate a fellow human being. Many people who are either powerful or wealthy or whatever think that they own other human beings, and that's why you see so much abuse towards women, towards children, towards again the trans community, whatever, and that's completely unacceptable. But what's great is that you didn't decide to close the cafe. You decided to open it in a more sort of safer environment, going forward.
Yes.
And how did the staff sort of, what made them stronger after that incident?
So they, so one of our staff, she didn't open up. So it was during just lunch when you were sitting and you were talking, are you all facing? So they were very hesitant on it. So it was happening in such a regular basis in a month, like almost a week. So they decided to tell me. In fact, they told my partner Glennis about it, and then she told me. And my first question to that, first Glennis was trying to understand, are you okay and all. Her response was like, we face this every day of our life. We have grown with a thick skin. This is nothing, right? This is one of the incident which just happened with me again, and that again we got taken back, and we're like, okay, so she took it very sportingly, I would say, but we could still see that giving them the platform, the respect. Again, we didn't want to. We wanted, since we were, I don't know how to put this up. It's just very very sad. But then again, as I said, they grew up with a very thick skin, and for
Yeah.
their safety, they are my responsibility. So though they grow up with thick skin, doesn't mean that anyone can take you know advantage of that, or try to put any one of us down.
And that's really sad, right, Diego? Because even though I'm talking about this very vibrant, cool, city of Mumbai, there's still a very handful of people who are either rich or popular or powerful politically or whatever, who will go and abuse these people who have been abused all their lives. And when you say they become thick skinned, it's only because they grow up. It's so unfortunate a fellow human being has to grow up with that mindset that they will be abused, and they have to be thick skinned about it. And it is up to us to be able to create a safe heaven. I once read
Yes.
somewhere it said, mothers, uh, don't teach your daughters how to dress, teach your sons how to
Teaches sons
respect,
how to.
how
Yes.
to respect, you know, the women that they come across. And I think it's the same thing. We've just got to be able to learn to respect a fellow human being, regardless of their background, color, race, religion, sexual, this thing, whatever it may be. And I'm hats off to you for doing something like this. So, how does your mother feel about this at the moment? About Mumbai Nazarya?
She's very happy when she's seeing us on the newspaper, and when she's talking to her friends. Before, her question was, "What your son is doing? What your son is doing?" Her questions like coming from that Goan Mangalorean family. You always question about what's your son's or daughter's
Yeah,
career about.
yeah.
What are they doing in life? What are they? So now she's like, "Oh, he runs a cafe. This." So when they talk about it, oh yeah, yeah, we have heard about this cafe in the news and all. So she feels like a proud mother.
Oh, very good. And I'm sure your father somewhere up there is looking at you with a very warm heart, smiling. And I'm sure you've got the blessings of this community that you brought into your dream. You've got the well wishes, I think, of a lot of people who want to see a change in the world for the better. Absolutely. Ever thought about opening up this cafe in other parts of India?
Yes, yes, honestly, yes. We want to scale, we want to do it.
Like a
Uh,
franchise model, you can lend out the name to people, set up your standards, and open up
it's more,
cafes.
yes, but more about it. I don't want it to be more like a franchise thing because I want to resonate. If yes, the person with me resonates with the same thing, then the franchise model works. But it's more like doing something for the community with a strong belief. It's not just another franchise led outlet. But yes, I want to do it across the globe, but in a very different way. That's the plan.
That's so nice to hear. So, my one of my final questions to you, Diego: what advice would you give to young people like yourself and people younger to you, who might feel uh, they've grown in not very privileged environments, but have dreams, but lack the courage? What would you say to them?
Just do it. Whatever it may, just shut the noise. Shut the noise. Though it's from your family members or anyone. If you are really passionate about it, everything in the universe will guide you to get there. Just and pray. Pray to whichever God possible. Just pray. Pray to a stone, pray to a God above, pray to any divine entity. It will keep you focused. Pray and just go for it. And there's plenty of job in the world. You can do any job, anytime. But you want to get into doing something for yourself, just do it because the time may never come back. One thing I would really want to like sum it up by saying it: don't ever regret it. Just smile and do it. Never regret things. If
See,
it
Diego,
if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, don't regret. Just do it.
the thing with me was the reason I wanted to podcast with you is because I see you as an entrepreneur, but more than that, Diego, I see you as somebody with a big heart who wants to do something for the community, for the people around him, for the downtrodden, and whatever it may be. Your message to the younger generation, why is that important?
Main reason, it's like it's this is me. I'm true to it. It can be with anyone, right? Helping the society is what we are born for. If you do good, it's not like you're going to do good, you're going to get good. It's nothing like that. It's just that it's a human nature. Just be good. If you're just being helpful, you're being positive all around. See the atmosphere within your house, how it changes. You need to give back to the society whatsoever. Don't let it be humans, nature, anything.
No,
It
and I
was
say that, no, Diego, I say that because, in today's day and world, everybody's thinking about themselves. They're all, and right or wrong, they're thinking about themselves. What's in it for me? How far can I go? What can I do in my life? What is my success story? But here I've come across you who's thinking about perhaps that at the back of the mind, but you're thinking about at the same time, you're thinking about bringing a community, giving to the community, giving to society. And I think that's a very unique thing that I think our generations are losing. I hope I'm wrong on that. And that's why I wanted to ask you, why is it so important? Why should we keep that alive?
because tomorrow the I is going to die off.
You
It's
think
we
so?
who's going to stay.
Okay, interesting. Wow. Wow, interesting. That's amazing. I've not heard a
So,
young person speak like this for a very long time.
so it's as simple as that. We just need to be. I want to quote this from the Bible. I strongly believe in this quote. Love one another as I have loved you.
Wow.
Remove the religious meaning behind it, anything from where it's come. Just listen to that sentence in day to day life. Love one another as I have loved you. That's as simple as that. And I live by this and live by this commandment.
No, that's great, Diego. You know what? I personally have become an atheist about 4 years ago. But, because I believe that many people who follow the scriptures, uh, read the scripture on a Sunday, and then a Monday to Saturday, they're completely the opposite. So it's so glad that someone like yourself is actually living by it and believes in it. That's good, and I think that's a very noble cause. And as an atheist, I salute you for that. I think it's really great. So look, I just want to wish you the best of luck. I hope that all your dreams come true. I hope that the world around you, especially our passionate Mumbai, embraces you with all the love. I hope that our beautiful India embraces you and your dreams with all their love. And I hope that you and Bambainazariya go a very long way. Uh, Definitely, your father's smiling down at you, I'm sure. And your mom is very uh, right to be proud of her son for what you've done. I think you're an example to a lot of young people and obviously to elders like me as well, if I may say. The best of luck to you, to your special other half, and to your entire team. And I can't
Thank
wait.
you, thank you.
I can't wait to come to Bombay in October and come and visit you at the cafe. So please tell our audience. So where exactly is your new location now?
So new location is Andheri West Lokhandwala, Sastri Nagar.
Andheri.
I'm right there. Actually, work is on. I'm sitting in the middle of the construction.
Okay. All right. Wow. So yeah, I promise you a cup of coffee at your cafe.
Chai,
Sometime.
pink chai. So
Chai. Okay.
chai. Yes, India runs on chai.
Oh wow, that's good. Yes, we'll do chai together, and I look
If you
forward.
love coffee, we have some good filter coffee as well. So you could
No,
try that
let's do
one.
some chai. Let's do some chai food together. It'll be wonderful to meet you face to face and see this wonderful dream of yours and live it with you. At least even over a cup of tea as well. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, Diego.
Thank you so much for having me. I really was first nervous how would this go, because for me it's like I've never done podcast before and I was very uh, taken back. And thank you for being such a support. People like you, Mr. Tagore, finding us, talking, you encourage us even more day by day.
Well, you
We
can blame
need
our
we need
common
people.
friend.
We need people like you
You can blame our
who
common
encourage.
friend Rishikesh for introducing, who telling me about you, and I
Yes,
was.
I think he came through to the cafe, and that's how I think we got in touch.
Yeah, he's quite a character. So yeah, he's all over the place. So great, Diego. Best of luck.